All right, so type 1 diabetes check-in with y'all. Just want to share why those 3 days at the end of last week were kind of my toughest on trail mentally, dealing with my type 1. My struggles with type 1 out here on trail is not really any different than the struggles back home. Maybe the one thing that makes it a little harder out here is like, I just really want to enjoy being out in nature, just enjoying God's creation and this big, old, beautiful world. I just want to take joy. Like each day, it'd be like being out here and just like living in the moment. And I feel like when my blood sugar is off, it makes it really, really hard to maintain joy out here on trail. But the experience with type 1 is still relatively the same as if it is back home. So for the type 1 diabetic, we are like our own treatment of our own autoimmune disease. And so the way it manifests itself to me is like the one day last week, I couldn't keep my blood sugar up. The next day, I felt like I couldn't get my blood sugar to come down. And so my symptoms might be a little bit different whether my blood sugar is low or high, but one of the things that's always the same is kind of the negative self-talk that I feel like my mind gets flooded with. So I feel like when your blood sugar's off, your body knows something's off. And one of the ways it manifests itself to me is my mind just gets flooded with all this negative self-talk. Like, you did this to yourself. Like, you're the only one to blame for this. Like, you don't deserve to be out here. Like, you're not worth anything. You're just a piece of garbage. And you get like fatigued faster when your blood sugar's off. I feel like I get sorer faster, and it just really wears on you over the course of a day. And then, like, as the day goes on and you're like fatigued and you're feeling down about yourself, I feel like my mind starts like bringing up like things from the past and like, see, here's an example of why you're a piece of garbage. And it just keeps rolling. And like, I know like my worth and my value is not in what my blood sugar tells me. But I think every diabetic would tell you that it is really, really hard to ignore and shut off that flow of emotion when your body is saying, hey, something's wrong. And when your blood sugar's low, when your blood sugar's high. I think anyone would tell you that it's just really hard to ignore that flood of emotion from your life. And it's just like last week, it was just beating me down. Just bringing up stuff from my past. And like, I felt my legs were super heavy. I felt like I had no energy. I wasn't able to keep up with my friends out here. And felt like I was the only one dealing with this. Just feeling like super Debbie down about myself. And it's just one of the things that every type 1 deals with. And I will say this, that when you're getting this flood of like negative emotions, like flooding your brain, it was in those moments where like just kind of not really knowing that I was doing it, but I shut like one whole side of me off because I felt like I was a burden to everyone I was around. Like, even just walking through society in general, just in like everyday life, I felt like I was a burden to everyone around me. And like, I never want to be a burden to anyone, especially my loved ones, and anyone in any relationship I ever have. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm a burden in their life. So because initially when I was diagnosed, man, I was having struggles all the time. So like, I never allowed myself to like feel like genuine love in some regard. So I like shut that whole like side of me off. There's no point in pursuing any relationship or pursuing the hopes of a family, because like, I don't want to burden these people with this negativeness that I'm going through right now. And so that's part of what I'm trying to rebuild out here. It's like, look, DJ, like, this isn't, what you're feeling right now is like not truth. And like, you gotta let people in. And you're not alone in this. And you know, you deserve love and to be loved. And you gotta allow people to make that choice themselves rather than you make it for them in some regard, if that makes sense. So yeah, and so I was just so ready to get off trail last week. I was like, I'm done. Like, I kind of like don't want to quit. I didn't want to quit, but like, I just wanted to be off trail, because it felt like it was taking 4 times the effort to complete like a quarter of the work. And like, I tell people all the time that like the struggle with type 1, like 80% of it is mental, because like when you're going through something like that, it like the negative self-talk just like snowball effect, right, throughout the day, and it just like keeps compacting. And finally you're like, okay, I'm done. And but I slugged it out, because that's all you can do. You put one foot in front of the other. One of the best things for me out here right now is I'm getting solid quality sleep. Like, whether I'm in town, whether I'm on trail, in my tent, in a shelter, I am legit getting easily 10 hours of sleep. 9 to 10 hours every night, undisturbed. I never had that at home. I would wake up at least once every night at home. And like last night, I woke up for the first time with a low blood sugar in a long time. But prior to that, I was just sleeping solidly every night. So if you can get quality, solid sleep, dude, that like refreshes your body and your spirit so fast. And then like in the morning, it's like, okay, today's a new day. You know, the hope of a new day, and everything that brings. And like, it's easy to reset and like refocus, and attack that next day. So that's a good thing that I got going for me out here. I love being able to get that quality sleep. But yeah, that's just some ways like how the struggle manifests itself in my life. So last week, Sunday, like I was like, hit the Tennessee, Virginia line. I was like, okay, I can do this. And got into town, got linked up with some of my friends, like jumped in the shower, and like it, like literally, it was like, okay, I'm rinsing all this negativeness out of my life, and refreshing, hitting the refresh button, reset button, and got some really good rest, and you know, refocused, and back on trail this morning, feeling good, you know. And it's just one of those things, you know, like you're gonna have bad days, but like, you know, never give up. Recognize, you gotta learn to recognize on those bad days that that negative self-talk is just like a byproduct of your body just like being out of sync, and that it's not truth, and it's a whole bunch of lies, and yeah, your worth and your value is not in that. So that's my diabetes check-in with y'all. Just trying to be real about the struggle. Yeah, so we press on, and today's gonna be a good day. Every day's a good day. Some days it's just harder to see it, but at the end of the day, it is always rewarding. So, all right, bye for now.